Rise and shine, YouTube. Rise and shine. So, it's about, I'll wait for a few people before I go into it. But, checking out a few videos here. And, yeah, you know, LARPing for the Lord. Don't worry. I saw that. But, it's okay, brother, because, she believes that, if you speak out against any of the side thorn, church or school shootings, she, you know, puts together that speaking out against trauma simulation events or possible trauma simulation events, let's say, as criminal behavior, likens it sometimes to the behavior of her, you know, her criminal stalkers. But there's nothing I can do about that, man. And that's how you know that there's a difference between helping people and you know, getting things or getting people or doing things for yourself. So yeah, helping her has been very it's not been easy, and you go up, you go down. I don't suggest that anyone that's a YouTube creator that speaks out against the problems with the news reports and the way that the news are reporting some of these fables, that yeah, you got to just recognize that as a person from another generation, she still has a bond with the news, as, you know, possibly giving her good information. And so she develops her story about me after she's, you know, understood and taken in her many qualifying stories from the news, that I propose the news is an arm of the government's propaganda, the war machine. You got the news. So I've you know, you can only do so much, right? LARPing for the Lord, you can only and it's still nice, you know, because I don't want to change the woman. I don't want her to all of a sudden it's not helpful for me anyways to have her even liking me, you know, or to saying good things about me. No one's going to believe the good things she says about me. And yeah, it's just not it's okay the way that it is. It's just gotten to a point where, you know, you know, I mean, it's a little bit ridiculous, but to a point where she needs a little bit more space, and she's gonna cover me for a while, but I'm just gonna stop watching her videos and let her develop the story however she sees fit. It's not hurting me. Obviously, it does cause harm to my avatars. Whatever is standing as a you know, a person that helps, you know, whatever. It just makes me look a bit foolish. But you know, this morning she was talking about how you know, the speaking out and making videos about bad news coverage is not criminal, and I do not harass any families of any victims of any at any times. So that's another altogether. If speaking out against trauma simulation events is harassing that's just another level of, how obviously harassing people is harassing people. Speaking out about news coverage is not harassing people. Contacting a family, even if they're actors that were involved in any of these 20 or 30 school shootings and church shootings in the last year. I mean, if the numbers just don't seem unnatural, speaking out against any of these is going to cause you as a person to not be able to speak out or speak or give reference to any subjects to anyone that's not in your generation. That's how this whole mind manipulation goes. Is that at every level there's different things going on. And if you speak out against the mainstream, the storyline, you upset people. You upset everyone that's older than you that still doesn't recognize that the TV news is pure garbage. So, yeah, that's it. I just, all I do LARP for the Lord, and all I can do, I don't want, she already has a tough enough time. And, being my friend, was, sometimes she was happy. And oftentimes when you're her friend, you become part of her understanding of the story. That's as simple as that. And she's an 80-year-old woman. So, I'm not gonna be able to convince her of, basically she's gonna have to figure it out on her own. And it is a very bad place. YouTube is a very bad place for someone that doesn't really able to fully figure out everything going on. And it's not their fault. I mean, there's people working with the mainstream story. There's people working with the trolls. There's people it's like you're always one person against more than 5 people. So that's how it is on YouTube when you want to speak out. And whether you speak out against the news, or you speak out against anything on YouTube, that's how the statistics go. If you speak out, you're gonna get trolls. And then, obviously with Truth Convoy, you go in and out of her stories, and you'd have to probably be a little bit older than me. You'd probably have to be in your 60s, and basically, have similar content and understanding of the different, for her to actually believe in a person. You see, that's the difference, And lots of people ask me, like, what's going on with this Truth Convoy? And, I mean, if you guys can't see that, people suffer and they need support sometimes, and that's it. And I'm not going to be able to save her from herself and from all the squabbles that she gets into with people by her because of her understanding, whatever it may be, could be off one way or the other. So everything's cool with me and her, but I gotta draw kind of like a line, on watching her content and promoting her as a person, just based on the fact of some of the things that she says are pretty over the top. I mean, she's getting a lot better, so everyone should give her time to to come around, and to become a better person and a better YouTuber. But obviously, when you're intertwined you know, the way that I am, in the same. Whenever you're dealing with a person that's dealing with the people that I've been dealing with, I mean, they're gonna be frazzled, man, because these people are, you know, they're non-stop, and they're really the only thing holding together their entire LARP and pack of lies is each other, and their, you know, inability to you know, I don't know if it's contractual, but to give up, to just throw in the towel and say, like, you know, we're exposed, we just gotta move on. They just come back and friggin' tell you how great they each of them are and how good the other one is, and that's part and parcel to the scenario down here. So, as for me, I put a little note on Denise's channel on her last video, the one where she freaked out, and I said, look, Denise, you're doing a good job, you know, with these trolls. I mean, Denise is doing a good job with her trolls, because I'm sure the trolls don't want to watch her videos. There's no telling what she says, which I makes me laugh every time. And then she throws a little bit of me in there, and Jesus Murphy, I just cringe a bit, but there's nothing I can do. So I still laugh a little bit when I hear her, when she's saying things, and the way that she's understanding them. But it's, you know, I don't want to be upset with the lady, and I don't want her to, you know, I don't want her to think that her story and my story are any more connected than MONTAGRAPH. And even these other people, Donna and this other old lady, they never really bothered me. I just could see that they weren't all there as people, you know. And honestly, you should look into what you see people do on YouTube. If you see people acting psycho, yeah, that should say something to you. But obviously, it's not easy talking out or speaking on the All-Stars or on these people that have groups, you know, and other people working with them. It's not easy, because they do manipulate and work together, so you're always kind of like, you're always getting fooled, man. You're always getting fooled. And, you know, there's just, there's nothing to, you know, there's not that much good on this website. And a lot of times it's easier to find good in people than to just find a totally new person. So that's what I was hoping with Truth Convoy that would happen, come around, whatever. But it's good that she still sticks to her understanding of things, and you can see, man, she just speaks off the cuff. She doesn't hold back, which is a good. Her channel's hopefully gonna do better, and you know, her style is her style, and it's abrasive, especially if you're one of these trolls that she doesn't like, or a person who's she sees the way that you act on YouTube and she doesn't approve of that. Well, you could easily be called a troll, which means it's probably, you know, not that bad. Out of the repertoire of terms that she could use, you could become many things and explained as them, a cult member. And it's sad, because a lot of the people that she's talking about, like this Massachusetts people, and this, you know, it's all revolving around Sandy Hook, and coming from there, they actually had a squad of people that were hired that raised money. Let's talk about Sandy Hook and all these things. It's all part of the after the terrorist attack, the recycling, and the, you know, obviously you have to filter things down, and then on YouTube there was a number of people that were speaking out against it. And so they brought in that whole video and took control of the message with Professor Doom and all them. Let's talk about Sandy Hook or whatever it was called. And with that other nut bar that's living in his car. And these people are all, you know, I mean, it's all provable that they're intertwined, working together, and have each other's phone numbers and call each other. And some of them drive some of the parties mad, and it's like a complete. It's completely psychotic. But that's why good people, normal people, leave YouTube, and they leave these LARP stories to the scammers and the old people that have any type of life they want to protect. You don't even go on YouTube anymore, especially with all these groups of people. I mean, Jesus Murphy. Imagine having a family and getting caught up with some of these scenarios, and having a wife, and your wife finds out that you're into QAnon, and she's a regular woman, and she's, you got 2-3 kids, and you start wearing Q t-shirts and talking about posts from 4chan, on your way back from work to work, that you've been, it's complete madness. But these adults that run these LARPs, they don't have to go in the public and explain anything. All they say, they work online. They work in social media. They don't explain that they go around and LARP people and give them bad information and feed the population as much disinformation as possible just to keep everyone confused. And if you do figure things out, you get 4 or 5 people that are there to tell you how they also figured it out, and they're giving you all weirdo, strange, bizarre information in some cases. So last night was weird. I had a visit from Jib Camera in my chats, and Jib Camera is a guy that I pointed out originally, who's in all the chats, and he's like a chat he's like a chat worker for the friggin' networks, for Pete's sakes. He's in Lift the Veil's chat, he's in everyone's chat, man. He's in Defango's chat, he's all chatting it up. These people behind the scenes, this little group, this handful that go around and do all that, I mean, it's cool. It's cool. It's like having, friends. In most cases, it's like having friends in a chat. But, it's just if people are working, and then they're, and their LARP is that they're just your friend in the chat, and they're putting in hours onto your stream, hours and hours and hours. I mean, a lot of this, like in Lift the Veil's case and Defango's case, is these people are helping them try and be relevant, try and move forward, try and, do 2-3 things at once, and focus their energy on recruiting more people into their storylines. And who knows? Maybe if he keeps commenting on my streams, they'll do what they did to Ishtar and stop talking to him and turn their back on him, kind of like what they did to me, right around the time when I think it was around the 15th of July when I got, or maybe it was even before that, probably sometime between July 15th and June 14th. But, yeah, wait till all your friends from YouTube turn on you at once, because they're in a group. Yeah, Gibberish Camera. Oh, well, that's cool. I just, oh, wait, let me read some more. Someone got a channel terminated. Yeah, yeah, Here to Eternity. You see, I don't necessarily do that when I see Psycho. First of all, I'm on YouTube, and when I see Psycho, I'm interested, because it's, it's almost like real, authentic camera work. You know, like what I don't find when I find these LARPers. So when I see someone wigging out or bugging out, I actually I like watching that type of content because it's, you know, you see authentic and how people react in real situations. But I mean, there is other psycho, you know, that's all ranges and varieties. And yeah, I definitely usually move on, and I kind of like, just for the simple fact that certain things were disturbed me about the people and how she was being treated. So she's not really being treated like that anymore because her squad of trolls have been downgraded to a loose group of losers. And I mean, they're still trolls, but I don't see them affecting anybody the way that they were 2 months ago with all their madness and running around as just unknown people harassing people behind it. Now they're famous on YouTube, man. For women that don't do content, that girl Donna and Winter are famous on YouTube. I mean, you can't get any more famous than them two. So, hey, man, I ain't no fool. I'm gonna sit there and friggin' slander with an old lady that's suffering and that's doing all these things. I'm just gonna move on. So, you know, it's not good to obviously, if you're helping a person that a lot of people are ganging up on, there's a possibility that the person you're helping, it brings a lot of these things on herself, you know. And I'm not speaking of criminal harassing. I'm speaking of, like, if she goes out and calls people, you know, even if she says they're in cults or this or that, I mean, people are gonna be upset. Some people are gonna call her, you know, names, which doesn't help the person calling her names. It makes the person calling her names look a little bit foolish because she's 80, she's older, and it's not good to argue or to fight with elders, period, man. You just look stupid. And that's my only point, man. And you know, you could say anything about a person and just be a little careful with an old lady. Like, I'm not even gonna, I just I marked in her comments, you know, this is a good video, and it is a good video, and I just don't like the way that she, you know, put into context me talking out against school shootings as me harassing parents of victims. Like, that's criminal behavior altogether. And that's a job for another agent to call the parents and to pretend like they're harassing parents. That's not a job for a YouTube analyst or whatever these Pizzagate people are trying to turn you into, a YouTube investigator. Okay, you want to call a pizza company and ask them about their products? It's not bad. You want to call a grown man and ask him his opinion? Not bad. You want to start calling people's families and stuff? It's not. You want to talk bad of the dead regardless is not good, man. And to, you know, to go to Sutherland Springs and to argue with a pastor who's lost his daughter, and to be side thorn with the cameras with you, and to be calling them demons, and to be saying you're with YouTube, is a complete LARP. That was their job, was to act and to do those things, which, yes, anyone that's normal would agree are crazy. That's why he did them. There's not a person that I support that's gonna call even the baby that traveled 150 meters on the news in Australia, and you start calling people as parents that even if the LARP is that the baby died, or if God forbid the baby died, You call and you say that you're from YouTube and you have questions, man, you are a menace to society, man. You don't understand, you just don't understand people, man. So before you take your YouTube, whatever they've trained you to do on YouTube and Pizzagate, you better be, I mean, I'm trained to go door to door if I want, man. I don't ask or say, or I know the difference between crime. I know the difference between making videos on YouTube with a bunch of loser analysts beside me, around me, all monetized, pretending to be news stations. This is not, what can I say? What can I say? That's the biggest part about believing in yourself and not getting sucked into rolling with a group of people that for whatever reason, um, you can't effectively be in a group with people on YouTube without the trolls, without YouTube people saying that you guys are working together. You can't even, put comments under videos. You can't talk to people, or certain people on YouTube will develop that into a story. And that's how they do their understanding of the whole thing. And life is not easy for those people that speak out. So whether you, just gonna go and put on my kettle, but I already know. I already know that I'm not getting ahead. I already knew I wasn't going to get ahead from helping Denise in this scenario with the people that she was, I thought I could, I knew I could help a little bit, but not, there's nothing you can do, man. You cannot, YouTubers will be shunned from their families in the next few years. So anyone that's been working on YouTube, building a channel, building a news channel, you will be demonized by YouTube and her partners and Google. It's mostly Google. It's not really YouTube. Like, the YouTube employees don't really know that Google's doing these things and it has these thoughts deep down the road. But eventually you will be demonized. You will be shunned. You will be shut out. Your family will turn you away, man, just from finding out. Like how Denise is kind of talking, how, making a video against anything that you consider as a LARP is, to some people, considered insulting the families, because they've drawn that correlation between people calling mothers of deceased children. And obviously, if you have a deceased child and you're a woman, these topics mean a lot to you. And so I'm just going to leave it at that. And, I don't want anyone to be mad at her because of the things she says about me, or to just let her go about her pace. And I'm just going to unsubscribe, and I'm just going to not watch her videos. And within 2 or 3 days, she's going to stop talking about me. And that's, what I suggest for people. And if you think that, me, or anything that you say, or you insult her or things, this is going to only work for your close friends that are going to say, okay, yeah, she's this, she's that. Anyone that doesn't know her, anyone that looks with reference at a quick glance over, is going to see a gray-haired woman that's non-offensive, in an appearance, very small, petite, little lady, and little Texan. I mean, not so small and not helpless in that way, but, they're gonna see her, and they're gonna see a grown man or a man from YouTube, you know, insulting her. I mean, you're gonna look stupid as hell to everyone that's not on YouTube. And that's what's gonna start happening to people in real life. Is people, a lot more people are gonna come on YouTube now, and they're gonna get the YouTube is gonna give the impression that the twoofers, the conspiracy theorists, and the people that speak out against all these fake news, that they are the problem. And they're going to find a way to draw a correlation between the problematic people and calling dead people's parents. And you see how that works. And so, you gotta be careful if you're gonna make phone calls off YouTube for any reason, which, you know, there's a lot of reasons to call people for comments. If you're doing real journalistic work, like if you're just throwing together some info and you want to start talking to people on the phone, it's one thing. But if you have some good questions and you're not going to bother the person, if they don't want to talk to you, you're going to be polite. And you're going to identify yourself, and you're going to, you know, if the person doesn't want to hear what you're saying, and you know, you're not going to harass the person, then it's not such a bad thing to call people and to get a comment. But the way, the context that they're going to drive this is that they're going to point out that people are calling, you know, injured parties, parties that have damages, parties that have lost siblings or loved ones, and they're going to directly correlate that with YouTubers like Scythor, that stood up on Vice News and called, you know, parents of deceased children demons and other ridiculous things. And regardless, man, if they have a LARP and there's dead people, you gotta recognize that 80% of the population believe there are real dead people. And you speaking out against that, you know, you have to be very careful that when you speak out, that you explain to some people that you're speaking out against the propaganda, the misinformation, the misdirection of the news and their story as being possibly propaganda to help them put forward, you know, their whole war machine. So you just be very careful. And then regardless of what you say, you're always going to get people that are emotionally vested in these scenarios, because that's why they're developed. So unfortunately, part and parcel to the manipulation and the propaganda is people that wholeheartedly believe it all. Or it wouldn't be able to be propaganda. And so recognize that, and recognize that, you know, people that have certain positions, obviously not defending attacking people's parents. I've never called any, I never made one video about a dead person's parent. So just saying that kind of stuff in the context of these other trolls that really are criminals just makes me look and seem like an imbecile. So I'm you know, I don't want to just keep subjecting myself to that kind of treatment from anybody. And I think I helped her along enough. So I know I had Wake Now ask me yesterday, what's this scenario with the grandmother? And, you know, it's like, even these friggin' long-drawn conversations about this lady is not helping me. Like, she's not on my team, man. I don't want her on my team. I'm not on her team. She doesn't want me. She wants to just do YouTube and talk about the scenario that she sees in front of her. She wants to use YouTube to investigate the murder of her child. And I'm not going to stand in the way of either of those things. And, you know, obviously has difficulties with all of the information and all of the people that are running behind the scenes bullshit. And they should be ashamed of themselves. But they ain't. But I'm starting to be ashamed of being her friend because of the amount of times and the amount of friggin' dirt and garbage that she says about me. And it's not malicious, it's her understanding. So what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna be mad at her for expressing how she's understanding things. And she's telling people that that's what she's doing. She's telling people that she's investigating her daughter's death. So I'm not going to get in the way of any of these things. You know, she's obviously suffering as a human being and could use support more than slander and more than harassment. That's it, man. And, you know, as for Wake Now, you know, like I told him, if I watch her videos, man, and I hear her say my name, I'm like, oh shit, you know, and, you know, if she says my real name, I mean, Jesus, Murphy, then it's real big trouble, like, she's gonna go overboard, and then I recognize that she does that with other people. I recognize that when, you know, she called Wake Now, you know, all these different things, and then I recognized that Wake Now was also yelling and calling a girl that was crying on stream. He was calling her, you know, and she may be a fairy tale LARP loser. I mean, but she was crying. So that's where you triggered the old lady. And then the old lady's triggered, man. Look, the old lady gets triggered against me, who's obviously actively helping her, you know. And, it's not something that you're going to be able to, an average person that comes on YouTube that has an average channel and is their first channel, they're not even going to be able to deal with this truth convoy drama. It's next level, man. It's like, I'm trying to help someone that's being trolled by the trolls that are trolling me and that trolled my family. And every once in a while she says that I'm with them. I mean, it's very upsetting for me. Every once in a while, hearing the things that she says from her mouth, that's why the trolls don't like her, are very, it's almost like, you know, it's almost like a lecture from an elder. So you look terrible when an old person's talking bad about you. But there's no recourse. There's no turning around and talking bad about old people. There's no, you know, calling her in the middle of the night. Whoever's calling this lady at 4 a.m. in the morning, man, you just don't recognize what type of a person you've become. And so I just gonna, you know, I unsubbed from her this morning after I saw that. I was liking the video. Shit, I was like, yeah, down a day. Yeah, these ones, and I was like, oh wow, they got a Discord where they share, you know, they share passwords and stuff to accounts. Like, how that ain't, I mean, how long is that gonna last now that the Australian pocket's gonna find? I mean, some people are gonna want to get into this Discord and get all these passwords and friggin' and manipulate these accounts against them. So, you know, putting this kind of information out doesn't help these scammers that are using these high-tech tools to criminally harass people. You know, like, you get 4 or 5 different people using the same accounts, and let me tell you, then you're really going to be able to gaslight and confuse people, and that's what they do. They get different people to show up with the same account, and then and people that they're bothering with get impressions as to who they are from how they talk, and then they switch up and it's another person. Man, you're confusing the hell out of people. But they also run the risk that all their accounts get sabotaged. You know, because if your password's out there and it's not just you with the password, well, there's a chance that everything goes wrong. 1 sec, I put on my kettle. Let me make myself a cup of tea, and then I'll read some questions from the chat, and yeah, we'll take it from there. nice cup of tea. So yeah, sorry about last night, guys, because I've been trying to do my live streams at like 4 a.m. And that way they end up being like over the pond. They end up being at 5 p.m. Because I'm trying to get a different crowd, you know. I'm trying to meet some new people and trying to get rid of a lot of the people from before that I know from the truth movement. Like I got this guy Fractal Truth that ever since Laz, you know, and Laz making all these comments, and then you get people like Fractal Truth that got 5,000 subs and get 50 views. So they're 0.001% of views. Like I'll put out a video, I got 60 subs or whatever, I'll put out a video and I'll get 120 views the next day. You know, 24 hours. You got 5,000 subs and the next day you don't even have, like, I mean, if that was under my numbers, my algorithm, if I put out a video and had 5,000 subs, I should technically get more than my amount of subs and views. Obviously, it's not as easy because these people that have subs from 3 years ago, these people have quit 100%. Everyone from 2015, except for a handful of people, have totally quit YouTube. They don't come back to this website at all. So that's what you have, is you just have a bunch of the people that are here from before. Most of them are working. They are in these members groups. There is some kind of job for them here. That's why they're still here working together, all with, like in life, when you find out a guy's a scammer, you stop working with them. These guys, when you find out he's a scammer, he changed his channel name and he continued to work with them all. That's their MO, is that the person is not the problem. It's whatever the channel is that's the problem. You just keep changing channels. Do you see the difference between real life and YouTube? So, last night I started my stream at 5 a.m. I go live, you know, I'm like talking about Alex Ansari, the poor guy. You know, and this is a good example, man. I mean, I'm going to leave a link in the description at some point to this guy Alex Ansari's channel. He's got 15,000 subscribers last time I checked. And I just want people to see what happens when you're an independent broadcaster and you don't talk out against these. Alex Ansari doesn't talk out about anyone but Alex Jones, like a big loser. Like he's a kingfish. Anyone could talk out about Alex Jones. He talks trash about everyone. Alex Jones is a soundboard for talking trash and being trash talked to. That's what Alex Jones does on YouTube. So it's like, what's this? George Webb and Dave Acton are two different people. Yeah, Dave, there's a, Lift the Veil promoted that idea of disinformation, that they're the same people. When Dave Acton was ratting himself out and his brother out, Lift the Veil was doing damage control for George Webb. That's what it seems like to me. And in the end, Dave Acton's role on YouTube, whatever it was, changed after that display that he did. And he's actually a better person now. He's or you just don't see him doing things, or maybe he's one of these, you know, for all we know, he could be Jib Camera. I mean, that's how good you know these people in your chats. Hey, Hasdak, what's up? So, Fractal Truth in the house. Buddy, we were just talking about you. God bless, man. God bless your channel. All my subs love your content. They haven't watched it. That I can guarantee, because 50 people worldwide have watched your video in the last week. And I can almost guarantee that it ain't the 50 people I know. So, I'm wondering if you know, if 50 views is just you watching the video, let's say, I don't know, 70, 7 times a day for the first week. It's possible, But, yeah, so since we got you here in the chat, Twoof, Fractal Twoof, it was funny to me because last night, I came on to do a live stream at 5 a.m. just to avoid people like you, that are working on YouTube between 8 and 6 p.m. and then they go home and they do whatever else and whatever they do with their life. Yeah, after Laz showed up and he started talking from the tent, we had Fractal Truth that jumped in and says, "That's naughty, that's an imposter account." So I just, that point I just laughed and I'm just like, is this guy working with Laz and friggin' Monty, the clown jokers? Because that ain't going to work out for him. And Fractal Truth has been around since, since the conservatives, the constitutional, pocket constitution days. Remember that, Fractal Truth, when you were selling pocket constitutions, man, with the other Americana YouTube, and with Pete Santilli's crew. But all of these channels, they all try and get big subs. They try and get a video that goes viral. And should they get a sub base, man, let me tell you, they prance around YouTube with 4,000 subs like as if they're a peacock. And everyone else is just a rooster. So, it's obvious that if you didn't care for Actual Truth, if you actually had content of your own to make, you wouldn't just be watching my content. And especially not that my content doesn't have anything to do with anything that you cover. So, yeah, after I basically had Laz come in, with his comments, and then you have Fractal Truth that comes on and he comments, and throws a couple thumbs down on all your videos and watches stuff. And this guy got nothing better to do on YouTube than to disrupt other creators, because he ain't really a YouTube creator. He ain't nothing. He ain't never shown his face. He's just there basically copying news articles and putting them up on his channel. He doesn't even... I mean... Good on you, buddy. Good on you. You just promote MSM is all you do. And so having Laz show up is one thing, It's cool. You get a little bit of that spice, that Spanish flavor. So but when you get American trolls like Fractal Truth or Aaron Cox or any of these weird channels that don't make content and it just roll around the comment section and be whack jobs, well, hey man, welcome to YouTube, where most of your views come from people that don't like you. And yeah, so let's see. I guess I have to repost that video. So, the Honeybee Show dime there. Either the same person, that's how she's a frog. She follows the script. She saw her channel blew up. Yeah, I think GM is talking on... I'll have to look up and see. But, I like these channels that are new, and they've got, even if you got under a couple hundred subs, man, you're not even really on the radar of the trolls and the real harassment on YouTube yet. So I like those channels, and I like, and people say the wrong things, man, and I forgive them, and I just still like I don't automatically, if the person, like Wake Now tripped out on that girl on the show, and I wish he hadn't, because it was just makes the whole scenario look bad. But I think the girl's likely freaking LARP. I mean, for all I know. I said it didn't cause me to not like the guy. Obviously, I don't want to hear the guy calling an old lady's names because it looks bad on him. It's not on the old lady. Like at a certain point, the people watching your videos are not her subscribers. Like, her subscribers aren't watching my videos or anyone else's. So when you freak out and make all kinds of comments, I mean, the only people that see it are already people that hate her and that you're friends. So they're going to agree with you. So it doesn't help, man, on YouTube to freak out on old ladies. It doesn't help for me to argue with someone like Case Mizzles, because she's a woman, man. She's a lady. She acts very normal on YouTube. Even if she doesn't like you, I don't see her going around and acting crazy. So when you act in any way aggressive with women, elders, or crying girls, you look foolish as hell. It's on. I would look foolish as hell. It would be on me. And I'm changing that. Just I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about in general, everyone. And yeah, but when I saw a good thing, I'm not gonna harp on that. And I saw Wake Now did a few live streams with two people that he did live streams before with, and they were great, man. And both people, and it was a conversation, and it was like how regular YouTube is, and people helping each other along. What's this mean and what's that mean? Because the girl was a little bit out of the loop on a few terms, but it was a wonderful live stream. The people seemed wonderful people, and and sometimes when you cuss. When I first started YouTube in 2016, man, I used to cuss and swear all the time. I was like, I don't give a fuck, and slowly that type of YouTubing became. I mean, they pushed against it with all these since 2015. The multi-channel networks have been, pushing language and all kinds of things, and we're getting more towards, and the TV coming on here. I mean, you're hearing less and less and less swearing. So just recognize that when you swear on YouTube, that's already been done before, but like 5 years ago, like where people would cuss and swear a lot. And the reason people don't anymore is because there's no real set rules on YouTube. There's just the way that YouTube is manipulating you to go. And basically, it was a free website, free open idea, and anyone could say anything. And then slowly and surely, as more people watch, and as some of your views come over from the TV, like someone that's tuning into TV on YouTube is never going to be suggested your content, or my content, let's say. So, just to know, that's what happened around that scenario is that there's certain things that you do on YouTube that basically defeat your own purpose, and those are a few of them. Those, obviously arguing with old people. Like, even if I argue with, let's say if I start following Roy Potter, the guy's a senior. Like, I have to be nice. I have to point things out in a nice way. I can't, go and shell shock this guy, man. People are going to see me as some kind of a maniac. It's a grown man. If a grown man's not acting crazy like Montagraph, then you got no business taking crazy to him, especially if you're a younger man than him, especially if we're talking about men over 65. Like, they act tough and strong, and they're still in with the ladies, but they ain't, man. They're 65. And just because the society we live in now promotes 40 as the new 20 and 60 as that's just to convince people that are getting divorced that they should buy everything new again and start over and have more kids. The reality is that at 65, just like 20 years ago, most people are retired. They used to retire at 60. Now they make it 65. Now some people work till 70, and most people die at work. They don't die while they're retired doing whatever they want. They die. The last day of job is not when they leave with the watch. It's when they leave in the ambulance. So there's a certain amount of journalistic appreciation that needs to be considered when you're including someone else in your live broad or any broadcast or any kind of video. Obviously, if you're clowning people, it's hard to be nice and clown people at the same time, and that's all you're going to be able to do soon on YouTube in the way of clowning people. So yeah, everybody learns on their own. You learn how to make your own reputation, and that's it. As for Fractal Truth, here he is. Yeah, Fractal Truth. Well, you know, saying things like, did you know I work for Google, LOL, is like, you know, you're more likely to work for Google because you're saying it in a sarcastic way that you don't. And most of your content is LARP bullshit and LARP, LARP promotion and LARP support. You know, you're like a channel that has 5,000 subs that supports these jokers. And that's how they continue their viral, their escapade going viral. And if you don't, you know, if you're just, maybe you're just some guy, man, and you just love Laz and Montagraph and you just came around, or maybe you didn't even know that Laz and Montagraph were trolling me, and you just came around to put in your opinion, and then in that case it would be different. But I know you, Fractal Truth, from 2 years ago when your channel was still a fraud and you had, you know, 3,000 subs or 4,200 subs, and now 2 years later you have 4,600 subs. But Fractal Truth, what do you think of Alex Ansari losing monetization on his channel? Does I mean, do you worry about maybe your channel being demonetized like Alex Ansari? Because I mean, that guy had a pretty good channel. He would talk about spirituality in a sense, and these all kinds of strange things, but interesting conversation, man. And the guy was a doer. Like, he was off grid. He was man. And then to cut his channel, man, the guy has no income now, and his TV station or whatever it was that Google makes you believe you're building, that is all taken away, man. That's been made a burden for him and no longer a breadwinner. And a guy that's living off grid, that has no access to anything, and is just, he has no way to make money. Hey, Joe Brown's in the house, so now we got it all, man. This chats, man. Now you guys see why I'm doing chats in the middle of the night now in the UK, because when I start doing chats in the daytime, and obviously as more and more people follow you, that, you know, around this whole scenario, it turns off other viewers, you know, that come onto your video and see, and they're like, oh man, these guys again, oh, it's going to get into that kind of drama, and then they just stop tuning in, and they go tune into somebody that doesn't have drama, where everyone loves them, like over on Lift the Veils chat. But let's see if we can get a question from Joe. Joe, did you see Twoof, well, no, Fractal Twoof's webpage? It's amazing, man. Put a link, or go on over and check out, just type in Fractal Twoof, and he's got 4,857 subs, I think, Joe. And I'm telling you, I don't know if you made a video yet, Joe, but the guy, I guarantee you probably get the same amount of views as him, because he gets about 50 views a week on his videos with 5,000 subs. So what do you think of that, Joe? What's your take on it, man? Let's get your take on something we want to know about, not on me or on anybody else, but on one of your friends. Fractal Truth, even if you got 5,000 subs, it's just going to help me make more clown videos about your channel being a LARP. And that your subs are not even alive anymore. Or your subs are probably still alive, but they ain't watching any American content. That's, I can guarantee you, wherever you got your subs from, whatever company you paid to get subs, well, they in another country, man. They ain't in Canada. They ain't in America. They ain't in England. They ain't in anywhere that's speaking English, because nobody's watching your videos. So maybe you should do a video, Fractal Truth, and help all the other people like you and tell them who you bought your subs off of, and then nobody else will buy subs from there that don't ever watch the videos. They just basically sub your channel and then go back to Korea. You know, when you're a LARP and you push LARP's Fractal Truth, being monetized at the level, at the platform AdSense level, is irrelevant, man. There's a lot of people that aren't monetized that protect the monetized channels. It's like a RICO case. It's like fraud. It's like when you got a fraud going and you're collecting money for it, well, if you get busted, well, it's actually fraud. So you get a whole bunch of channels that aren't monetized to push the smut and say that it isn't a fraud. And the unmonetized channels troll other channels. And so the LARP squad always has people like you that are unmonetized. People like MONTAGRAPH that are fully monetized, well, they come troll with their Illuminati web channel, because that one is, I think that one's even monetized. I mean, the guy's completely psycho. He trolls people with monetized channels, imagine. So the liability around MONTAGRAPH is unlimited, man. You just got to get his body in a court somewhere, man. And I mean, if you don't want money, that guy will go to jail. I mean, if you try and sue people for money in America, it costs money. But you know, there are courts for criminals that don't cost you any money, and then when they get a fine, well, they don't pay you the fine. They pay the government, the city, whoever it is that's taking them to court, the state, the federal government. Someone's going to give that clown a fine. And that's the difference between criminal and civil court. So, sub to Fractal Truth's channel. Do yourself a favor so that you don't have to look and wonder what I'm talking about when I'm talking about LARP support channels. You'll see a channel like Fractal Truth unmonetized. And obviously, if he monetized, people would wonder why he's only getting 50 views and he's monetized and he's not making any money, and what's the point of being monetized, right? I mean, if you're getting 50 views a video in a week, I mean, it's $7 for $1,000 and monthly, okay? So if you're getting 50 views a week, there's 4 weeks, you're getting 200 views, and you put out 5 videos, there's 1,000 views, brother. You made $7 this month on Fractal Truth. So my best suggestion to you is to not monetize, because people are, the 50 people that did watch your video by accident probably, well, if they get on your video and an ad pops up before the crappy video starts, well, I can guarantee you, you'd still have 50 views with 10 seconds or less of watch time. I mean, your Fractal Truth channel with 5,000 subs is so low on the algorithm at Google that I could make a brand new channel, brother, and within 3 days I get more video presence on YouTube than you could with your old channel. And that's whatever you did with that channel to burn it. I don't know, man. I don't know what you did or who you hung out with or why Google did that to you, but you should start a new channel, and you should just leave Fractal Truth back there where it belongs, in a dustbin. So yesterday when I came on to do a live show, my darn iPad, I didn't have it plugged in, so it was on its last battery, like 7%. And then even when I plug it in, because I have a few programs running to run my live stream, you know, and I have a recording program, I have a Streamlabs program, and then I have the live stream running. So yeah, the computer crashed out, and basically I was gonna talk about Alex Ansari and how I've been watching this guy since I came to YouTube. Like before I even made videos, I used to watch him, and his content was very good before, and he got trolled by, you know, the Alex Jones squad, like professionally trolled. And because he's in America, because he's in Colorado, when they troll you, I mean, they come and they physically come to troll you. They show up on your property and spook you out as YouTube creators, trolls, in real life. And the fact that I'm in Canada, these people can't do that to me. So it's like, you know, I'm thankful I'm not in America, because in America, it's more and more difficult, and the type of trolling and the type of social environment that's being developed in America is a lot like Nazi Germany, where people are ratting everyone out, and this one is that one, and everyone's on a, you know, and people want free speech, but only their free speech, and people want guns, but only them to have guns. So I'm not here to save America, and I'm definitely not here to save YouTube. All right, and just because YouTube started out an American company on the internet, and that Americans just came here in the last 2 years and think it's TV and it's part of their heritage, they are just misunderstanding the internet. And the TV just getting to the internet 2 years ago, well, that's not helping these new people that weren't on the internet before and have a smartphone, and their smartphones telling them things. And then there's other people that have been on the internet telling them the opposite. And I'm telling you, over time, they're going to disregard everything truthful being told to them, and they're just going to run with what the cell phone's telling them. And then once people get used to these cell phones telling them instead of their friends, they're going to start listening to these cell phone voices, these automated voices, and then there's no way to compete. I mean, a news station can put out a show, then they could put out 10 automated voice videos at the same time. I mean, it'll all be automated. It'll all just be, you'll come on YouTube, there'll be 1,000 answers where there used to be 100. And 900 extra ones will be all bullshit. It'll just be extra added. That's what they do on YouTube to gain traction, the TV, is they don't compete directly with you as an individual YouTube creator. They come with 10, 20 channels and high pressure their message out onto YouTube platform. And then over time, there's no competition between you and them. That's not how working with the computers works. If you work alongside Google and with the computer systems, and you own, you know, if you get to sell all your printing presses and buy computers and pay for people to do your work on computers, well, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of computers, man. Those printing newspapers and journals and all these things used to cost them a lot of time and money. What do you think they're doing with that time and money? Well, they've reinvested it in other people, in other markets, in other areas, and that's what you're seeing. So on YouTube, you're seeing that the old way that we're using as creators and the new way that YouTube is developing alongside the TVs to overwhelm creators and independence in itself. And so take it for what it's worth, but it doesn't matter if you're building your channel. It doesn't matter if you're building a business. You're 100% subjected to the trolls on YouTube. You're 100% subjected to the people that are acting criminally. I mean, and I'm not talking about trolls that are just talking, like Fractal Truth comes in here and just makes comments, big deal, you know. When I'm talking about Fractal Truth, when I'm talking about trolls, and I'm talking about, you know, people that are actively going and pushing your buttons and you know, saying that your father molested you, and that they reading this online, is it true? And they're the ones likely writing the stories, and whether they're reading it or not, you know, it's all subject to at what, you know, what level of mental disability you're at. So there's a big difference, Fractal Truth, and just, you know, being some dude that wants to talk smack on YouTube, and a dude that's talking smack and hanging out with Montagraph. So I'll just point that out to you, brother, that there's a whole range of trolls, man, and maybe you don't want to insert yourself up in with my trolls and become one of these people in my story. And you know, unlike Truth Convoy, I'll tell you before things happen to you that are gonna, you know, be a big difference from what you knew before. So that's the big difference, Fractal Truth, is that if you come over here and you troll me with Laz and Montagraph and those other two jokers, you're gonna get a new kind of response. You know, it's not gonna be as good as just coming over and clowning a guy because he's making stupid videos, which is, no, I have no problem with that kind of trolling. You know, so you just want to just watch. Don't go too far, man. Don't think that you're the one person on this website, and that for the last 3 years, when you haven't been paying me no mind, that I haven't been dealing with criminal behavior. So you don't want to throw yourself in that mix, is all I'm saying. And if, you know, if your job is to support, you know, whatever squad, support that whole thing, and you keep pushing in on me, and I make you these warnings, I just let you know the type of people that are trolling me. I'm warning you that that's what I'm, you know, that's what I'm subjected to. And if you just keep going, then I'm just gonna group you in with them. So if you don't have any problem with that, I don't have any problem with it either. Like Agent 19, he's another clown that does that kind of trolling. So figure it out, man. I see you're talking a lot. I don't actually read the chats as I might be looking at the screen, but I'm just looking at my pretty face, and I'm not really reading the chats, even though it looks like I'm reading them, because they're coming right in over my face and on the screen. But it's hard to do a live stream and read the chats and respond. It derails you. It just makes it so that you can't speak, you know, effectively. You end up being like you're stuttering the whole time. So yeah, GM for sure. They come after you, but the thing is that it depends how much traction you have as a creator, and what exactly is going on. But if you're overwhelmed by the trolls, like if there's 2 or 3 trolls, and if like people like Fractal Truth can you know, derail your you know, your subscriber base, and have people turn against you, and maybe even think that because he's got 5,000 subs, oh man, we should listen to him. He's an elder over here on YouTube with 5,000 subs. Well, yeah, those people there's it is tough, but when they troll me, I talk to them. I know what they do on YouTube. I point out to other people over time. You know, I actually get close with them, in a sense that, you know, I follow them when they let out videos. I make videos about their videos, and maybe the fact that nobody's watching their videos. And then slowly over time, like within 2 weeks, within 10 days, someone trolling me is pretty much feeling like they're getting trolled themselves. And that's a big difference between what happens to other people. And it's like, I don't suggest coming on YouTube to enjoy yourself and to open a business and to think that you are not going to be subjected to all these people behind the scenes. If they don't bother you, it doesn't mean they're not there. And it doesn't mean that if, for whatever reason, whatever you do, that they won't come and do this same thing that they're doing to me and others to you. And God help, you know, I'd be so blessed if everyone turned out like me that got trolled, because these trolls would be 100% out of business. I mean, there would be no point in trolling. It would be more. It would be worse to troll than to just be a good person on this website, and it would be worse to do those things. So, Agent 19, yeah, he's on your troll list. Well, he's basically the old guard of YouTube back when there was, the Illuminati was actually an avatar, kind of a LARP, where there is an Illuminati, but then the one that was representing himself on YouTube was best friends with this guy Agent 19, and Agent 19 is, he's halfway between a Matrix character with 100 different accounts. It's a good LARP, and also some kind of a criminal investigator, some kind of a arms specialist, some kind of a Dave Acton type, so he's got these two little personalities there and most of his work is done through questions, where he asks questions. Oh, tell me about this and this and this, and basically his job is to just make you want to friggin' punch yourself in the face on live cam. And I'm sure it works for a lot of people, because lots of times when he's questioning me, I mean, I feel like dunking my head in cold water, like just wake up, man, just get out of here. Change the story, change the page. But so Joe Brown, you haven't done a fecal peel in years? That's good, man. I'm happy for you, man. Well, listen, whatever you do in your bathroom, most people on YouTube don't want to know about it, because the face peels and the face masks and stuff, that's something that I carry as a badge of honor, because obviously Dave Acton calling me Mayo Face and all these other ones, Squat and Poop or whatever Laz has got going on over there with his jokes. I mean, these people are triggered by my face. And, in 2016, Pete Santilli had a dating website, Freedom Dating or some nonsense. And now these friggin' people in the truth movement were dating. It was like a bloody dating service. Yeah, well, when that started happening, I put a mask on my face, and I was like, listen, man, I ain't here for that type of nonsense. And that was all pretty much. That was another way to derail people off YouTube, or to get them to join your group. It's like fancy fishing, like the Children of God. What they used to do to bring people into their cult was the women would go out on the streets and friggin' prostitute themselves for free for the Lord. Bring guys over to the house and make them want to come over here, and it's pretty much like a damn brothel. And everybody was sleeping with everybody, and that was part of the whole. That was the invitation, was that all these women are pretty much prostitutes, and so you had all these people that were very, very much attracted to all these women that were revolving around this cult. And I don't know if they were even collecting money. They were probably doing it to recruit more people, for all I know. So go figure. There's all kinds of religious ideologies in America. It's like a melting pot, and you can't stop one. But obviously, at certain points, they run their course. Like a bad case of the runs. They run their course. So yeah, well, Russian Vids is an interesting guy. He's one of the channels that, one of the first videos that I watched that made me want to make videos was like his video where he had Spider-Man, his kid Spider-Man dangling from the Bataclan, and he did a video on that, and I was like, damn, this is good. And that's why it's real hard at first to know who's and what's what. And it's like many of these people put out content that you just say, well, that's like, that's speaking out, pointing out these things, and you're noticing the things too. So you automatically start believing in these people. And if you don't make your own content, well, that's where that story ends. You end up not believing in these people. You end up following these people. And that's why I always tell people, stop watching, stop following, and start creating your own videos, and you'll have less problems. Don't do videos with 5-10 people with opposing ideas. Do a video with one person, and and then don't do a live stream with someone and 5 or 6 people, and it's gonna be all crazy, and people are gonna be crazy in the chats, because in the end, your channel's gonna fall apart. The trolls are gonna troll you. They're gonna use all this stuff against you, and the more disorganized, stuff that goes on, the more fuel they have for their little bonfire over there. And when I say bonfire, it's like 10 guys throwing firewood and gasoline on a fire. It's not one person running around with a lighter trying to light a forest fire. So it sucks to try and fight multiple people at once. Yeah, you got 10 subs, GM. Well, probably have 10 people that watch your videos, and you know what? There's not that many people watching truth videos anymore, brother. Honestly, this content is pretty much been demonized, and there is no real. What's gonna happen in the next few weeks is that all these channels are gonna be demonetized that compete directly with the news and that compete with the TV. And then if you talk out about the TV's content, you're gonna be demonetized too. And then, like, all those channels are gonna go away. All those people are only on YouTube for the money, so they're gonna go away, man. Those people are gonna go get jobs. If YouTube demonetizes the wrong people too quickly, I mean, this website will fail, man. It will collapse and fail, like Facebook is failing right now. And if you think Facebook is doing good, I mean, even old people, they know that the information on Facebook that you put in is being sold to third parties. They ain't nobody believing that Facebook is a safe place to put your info anymore. At country clubs, at the country club, man, you ain't even allowed to take a photo at the country club and post it on Facebook or any social media, man. You don't matter if you paid $10,000 membership fees, man. You will be friggin' your membership fees. You'll be returned your money, man, and sent packing. So social media has become toxic to regular people, and the pedo hunting on social media will likely be the end of social media as we know it. And it'll require for people to have some kind of a training, some kind of a licensing, some kind of oversight to what they're going to say online, or what they're going to post, or who they're going to attract, and that's what this whole pedo gate really revolves around. It revolves around censorship of and also you're gonna see regular people. They're gonna put all this Pizzagate power and troll business on the wrong person on purpose. And then what's gonna happen is that mainstream media is gonna look at what happened to that person's life and who did it, and it's just basically gonna be YouTube. Everyone on YouTube. YouTube did it to them. And that's the day when your YouTube is going to change, man. And it may have already changed. I know that MONTAGRAPH said that it should be by the end of this year, so by December. So 4 more months, and YouTube will definitely not be the same as it was pre-2018. That I can guarantee you. this is the real change that's coming through that they've all been talking about since 2016. This is what they were preparing for. This is why all the people stopped swearing. This is why all the programming became more streamlined down to TV. And it's a group effort. And whether or not you have a channel, whether or not you helped YouTube grow, whether or not you're a great person. Well, if you have a channel and you don't, and you don't have anything to do with the news or talking or anything to do with Alex Jones or anything to do with China the 3 or anything to do with 153 News, then you'll have no real reason to be purged. But if you have, in all senses, if your whole thing on YouTube revolves around the TWOOF movement, I can almost guarantee that you will be demonetized. Like if you have a monetized channel and you follow the channels that I follow and speak out against them the way I do, I guarantee you'll be demonetized, which is no problem for me because I'm already not monetized. So it's good for me when they start doing these purges, in a sense, because it gets rid of all these people that once you stop paying them, they quit. And that's who I'm mostly competing against, is not really regular people. Regular people come to YouTube and see my videos and quit. And, Fractal Truth, I'm sure nobody comes on YouTube to watch your videos. And I don't say that to be mean. I just say that because I saw your stats on your videos. And basically nobody watches your videos. Like 50 out of 5,000. I mean, if you were a casino, you'd be bankrupt. So what's Joe Brown up to here? He's laughing. So Joe, can I ask you a question? Have you found anything at all wrong with 153 News? What is the one thing that you found at 153 News that you think they could improve upon to make that website better? I mean, I suggest that they get rid of Jason Boss as a spokesman. And now, go ahead, your turn. So we're just waiting in the chat for Joe Brown, the man who's got magic fingers. Not yet. Okay, so Joe Brown's answer to, is there anything at all, is there anything that Jason Boss, that you see him doing, or anything at 153 News at all that you've seen that caused you any type of concern at all that it might be controlled opposition? Go ahead, Joe Brown. What do you think? And I'll read your last answer to my last question. Not yet. I love a non-censorship platform where I can speak like a ninja. Okay. I still upload the same videos to UT as well. Okay, cool. So he uses a bit of the both sites, which I would suggest, because if you're only using 153 News, well, that's why 153 News advertises on YouTube, to come for the YouTubers to come over to 153 News, because the whole 153 News LARP, Joe, is that there's actually people watching 153 News, and it's not just them and their bots. Like you saw how What Face got 1,000 views in a day. I mean, it doesn't take much, Joe Brown, to make a playlist and to have all your friends run the playlist. It doesn't hurt at all. It's not hard. But Joe, if I wanted to, I could probably, like, I could probably, like, I know I could put together like a 10 computers working. If I really wanted to do something amazing, I could probably be one of these companies that does that. So it only takes for you to have, like, I mean, you can make accounts all day long. People, there are some Chinamen that have hundreds of accounts, and all they do is like videos or dislike videos, depending how much people pay them. Services that are being offered off-site. And did you know, Joe, that comments now and people following and commenting on videos, you can pay for that kind of that type of support as well. Now that's how, like, which I'm cool with that, because what happens is, if you start paying for, because there's all these services out where you can buy likes and you can buy, dislikes, man, it just means that the most scuzziest people on YouTube will be spending all their hard-earned money, well, not hard-earned money, all their ad money on buying dislikes and buying likes. And it's like, it's almost like a way for people to get cash out of these people, which is pretty amazing to me. I always appreciate these new ways that people find to appreciate it. It's like, wow, that's an interesting way to make money. But it's available. So yeah, Gandalf the White, we were just asking Joe Brown a question here in the back. And basically, Gandalf, this was my question to Joe Brown, was that since he's coming around, since he's a strong supporter of 153 News, since he talked highly of Jason Boss, which is nice, because on his website you don't find that many people that speak highly of you. So when someone comes around and says all nice things about someone, I mean, I'm starting to think maybe Joe Brown is Jason Boss. Like, this is maybe Joe Brown is Jason Boss's sock puppet. But, yeah, basically my question to Joe Brown was, Joe, because you like the website, and I want to, get to the bottom of what it is you really love about the website. But first, before I get to the bottom of what it is you love about the website, I just want to have one thing, Joe. One thing you've noticed that might have caused a little concern, even a blip, even a second of concern, that you may be possibly involved with some form of COINTELPRO website, where, it seems like it's like YouTube, but it's like the people that want to control YouTube. That kind of, did you see anything like that, or any reason at all to disbelieve in Joe Brown or Jason Boss? Go ahead. What's up, Tidor in the house? Yeah, it's a good thing you're here, Tidor. It's getting late there over in the AU, and let me tell you, this is where all the people that love me most, they come to congregate. This is why I do my live streams now in the middle of the morning, 4 a.m. Means that I only have 5 or 6 American viewers and no one commenting. Okay, so Joe Brown's answer, no James, just me. And another one, he says, forget YT, so forget YouTube. And really, he says, beep YouTube. And yes, I fully understand it's corrupt, like they all are. Which is cool, because that's talking about YouTube. Oh, okay, up here he's got an answer here. Yes, censorship, like a ninja. Okay, and then he goes, of course, but I do, but not enough to affect me. to the crickets in my ninja's pocket speak for me. Okay. He's hearing doggies. He's hearing doggies. And then, no, you couldn't. Man, it is tough to try and follow along with all these chats, man. I mean, I'm going to need a secretary for all this. So, I'll try and, 10 a.m. here. Yeah, it's 10:10 here, Auburn. Nice to see you today. I got a haircut. You can see I tidied her up there to look. Look at this, man. I did a video on duck feathered hair, you know, so I just want people to see that the duck feather look. That's why I'm joking about it, because when you go like this and you got like, and the hair is going back, like, so it's duck feathered like this, you know. It's like, I mean, you look like a bloody Native American, and you ain't Native American, you know. So, actually, yeah, this is probably an insult to the amazing Indians. And, listen, if you got duck feathered hair, you need to trim the back, because you look like you're just waking up all the time. Like 24/7, you're walking around the house. It's like duck feathered hair and hospital attire. So, yeah, we trimmed her up. I didn't want people to make videos about my duck feathered hair. So today, ladies and gentlemen, the chat is filled with interesting people. So we got Gandalf the White, who's, you know, Gandalf. I already spoke about the fact that, you know, it's hard to be friends with everybody on this website. It's very difficult. And so we had a little bit of a falling out there last week, you know, and I hope you don't hold anything. I don't hold anything against you as a person. Probably a cool dude, you know, up there, wherever it is that you do your cool things in real life. But, yeah, you can see how I obviously have to take a position at some point against all the people that are working with MONTAGRAPH, because of the simple scenario of how, you know, how I'm gonna, I don't know how I respond to the way people treat me. So all you other people really don't have much to do with it. And people like Fractal Truth should consider that if you troll me, that you're trolling me with a bunch of other people. And so, there's a good chance, like, I'm not going to go over the edge like some people and just start. But if you troll me at the same time that MONTAGRAPH's trolling me, and then that MONTAGRAPH stopped trolling me, first it was Kay Smizzles, then when she didn't work out, it was MONTAGRAPH. Then when he got rejected and sent packing, well, then I acquired Laz. And other little channels that I've been around since the dinosaurs. And so I have no problem with that. I'm happy. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be everyone's friend on YouTube. It's not a cool website to make friends with the people that are at the heart of YouTube. Because they're all working, and they've been doing it for the last 10 years, or at least, you know, hard for the last 5 years. They've all been working together and trying to pretend like they're not working together. So even if, you know, they're, as far as I'm concerned, they're like, it's like a drug addict, you know. They're just going to tell you whatever you want to hear just to get their necks fixed. So I see Joe Brown's pumping 153 News in the chats, which is, you know, my best advice is to never go on 153 News. But you can take Joe Brown's advice if you want. Joe Brown doesn't show his face. He just has an icon with a J in it. And it's likely, because he pushes 153 News so much, he's some kind of friggin' 153 News groupie. I mean, it's not his fault, but it detracts from him being a real YouTuber. You know, even promoting 153 News on this website at this point is counterproductive for you as an individual, and that's how people are going to start to realize that you're working with and for 153 News. Because over here on my channel especially, 153 News is burnt toast, man. Like, I've never been on 153 News. I've been there to look at the site maybe 2 years ago or whenever they started that nonsense. And the fact that you keep coming on my channel talking about 153 News is like, over time, you know, Joe, people are not stupid. And they're just going to wonder, like, well, why is he always talking about 153 News? What does 153 News do for him, really? Like, I don't go around and tell people. I used to, a long time ago, 2015, 2014, say how YouTube was a cool place and that, you know, they should, you know, make a YouTube channel. They like it. But now, man, when anybody asks me about Google or YouTube products, I just tell them about Uber Eats, and how I just tell them about how all the payments you pay to Uber go to Amsterdam, and Amsterdam doesn't pay any taxes for Google. But then when Google pays you your Uber salary, well, they pay all the taxes to your government. So you're not getting no free money without paying tax like you used to when you would do rideshare with Craigslist for 10, 15 years before Google made Uber. So, and yeah, and if that doesn't show people, and some people love the modernization and the access and the ease, and they don't have to go on a website and look at Craigslist. They just open their app and there's an Uber app. And all the people on Uber, well, they love Uber because it's like they're a taxi. And they don't have to pay anybody taxi fees. All over the world, wherever you're going to get a taxi license, is like $100,000 for a taxi license. You know, since Uber opened, taxi license used to be $300,000 to own a license in Montreal. And about 6 months after Uber opened, you could buy a license for $65,000 now to be a taxi driver. Yeah, and that's what happened. And let me promise you, as Uber was coming out, over here in Quebec, there was a dude that got a government grant for $300 million to buy electric cars. And he bought 2 taxi companies too, and all the drivers. So, and he bought 100 licenses rented, leased them off people that weren't using their active licenses, and just pays them whatever, couple $1,000 a year to use their license, and then they put that license in a taxi cab, an electric car that he owns, and he hires people for $15 an hour that are taxi drivers to run in his cars. And that's you know, that's the other side of Uber. That's the competition that's going to compete against him that was inserted. And that's the new way of doing business, is that you control both sides. And you control all the money in the whole industry, and then you redivide it up amongst yourselves. And that's what you're going to see. And Google's going to be a strong promoter of those redistribution of wealth methods. And people that work with Google are going to get wealthy, and people that work against her are likely going to get eaten up and become part of the wealth accumulation of the giants. Yeah, you like that? I love that tent you got there, man. Is Castro's tent in the has he joined the conversation? Because for sure, I mean, well, not for sure. because I think he's calmed down, but I never know, you know. But likely the tent dweller, if he was here, he would have said something. So we can't say for sure. But Castro's tent is a good one because everybody loves Castro, and everybody knows Castro pretty much is the Cuban, is the heartbeat of Cuba's Castro, you know. So I mean, I mean, he's such the heartbeat of Cuba that his brother became the president after him. It's like a family affair. It's like he's like a royal family of Cuba, man. So the Castro's tent is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, what's this? Who's this? Gandalf. Who's childish? Gandalf. Eh? Because, you know, Gandalf, you're the type of dude that being your friend, in the long run, man, you just end up popping back. Been here 10 years, just popping back up, making all kinds of friggin' channels on Yeti and all kinds of stupid shit, promoting everyone becoming LARPs and LARPing straight out as a joke, so that everyone could be jokers on YouTube. And whatever, man. And then you want to go and make friends with me and make friends with the people that are criminally stalking and harassing me. Well, then you just think that, you know, that this is a closed website and you got some kind of a friggin' invisibility pass, man. I'm done with all the strokers that promote what's that clown's name, man? Scott Bibler and his groups. I'm done with them. I'm done with you, man, over there, man. Friggin' I ain't childish, Gandalf. I'm smart, man, and you guys are childish for believing with your childlike minds, grown men in their 40s believe you can dupe other grown men, man. This isn't prostitution, man. You guys ain't fooling me for shit, man. I ain't believing none of your nonsense. And you know, go make some more Sasquatch videos. I'll enjoy them. And I don't care, man. It's nothing but a psyops website. And half the people in my chat this morning are basically, you know, they don't even like my content. They just tune into it because they're amazed and they can't figure out how to do that kind of shit themselves. And basically, the only thing, if you want to be me, you just tell the truth, man. And speak out against these liars. And that's why you can't do what I do, and you guys won't ever be able to be like me. Because most of what you do is the opposite of what I'm doing. You promote stuff that's not true, and you promote people following fictions and fictional stories and nonsense, and that's why I get so much more traction than all your stupid, you know, channels promoting obvious honey trap 153 news. And you know, Scott Bibler ain't no friggin' hero on my YouTube. Okay? And all these people in 2016 when the purge happened, Gandalf, we're all friggin' around, man. This is whatever, man. And seeing the way Laz is acting, you know, I don't put anything past any of you now, because Laz pretty much acting like he think he's Montagraph, he over there with his friggin' sloppy talk, right? And I mean, you can keep coming around me, man, Gandalf, but you know, if you do, like I said, if you want to hang out with those, let me just read what you're putting here. Oh, here's the Illuminati. He wants another wrench. Jesus Murphy, this guy's really off his rocker, man. Quick, man, call the nurse. Get more meds. Get more meds. We need meds, man. I need a nurse for this here chat, man. Someone call YouTube friggin' hospital, man. We need some paramedics in my chat, man. This is like the LARP. Basically, I'm just having a live stream with, you know, everyone that hates me and 2 people that actually watch my live stream. Cool. Let me play a video since this is great, actually. Jeez, if only you guys would work so hard for the good, the greater good, man. This website would be something amazing by now. Alright, let me share it. This is great, actually. Jeez. So, just sharing my live stream. So a lesson, folks. I'll give a few lessons while I got all these people in the clown room below. And basically the lesson is, let me see here. Have a nice day, Auburn. And here we go. Yeah, Auburn, have a great day. It's nice seeing you, and whatever you do, don't waste your time reading my chat any longer, because it's gone from it's definitely taken a dive with the energy in the chat. Sorry, I'm just setting something up here, friends. Boom. Yeah, okay, I'll check that out, GM. It's I'll check out the video. Yeah, but you know, Monty, those cigars that you're smoking are more unhealthy than cigarettes, man. So obviously I'm happy you're smoking cigars, but because they make you happy, but I just want to point out that you're not winning against me, who's not smoking any cigars. That's all. Hey, Ishtar, how's it going? We got the craziest chat. It's a good thing Ishtar's here, because in this chat, jeez. Ishtar, let's see. Yeah, if Monty smoked a little bit of that Colorado Gold, he'd probably be a little less stressed out. He'd be a little less high strung, and he'd probably be doing a little less no. And people would be happier around his website. But it's good to see, folks, the people in my chat, very amazing YouTube creators, and it's a good time to see them working in unison like a bloody bunch of dolphins at the friggin' SeaWorld. Oh yeah, no, I'm not mad at Scott, Ruby. He's a nice guy, but what it is, Ruby, that you know, you guys fail to cover over there is that I'm just pointing out that there's some people that work behind the scenes, and Scott, you know, being one of those people that's in this behind the scenes type person. It's all good when you're working alongside them and you're promoting the ideas they want you to promote. But if you don't, if you speak out, if you by any chance recognize that some of the stuff they're promoting is pure LARP, and then you speak, well, then they turn on you, man. And that's why I speak out against the whole process. It's not him as a person. It's him on YouTube. It's how he is on YouTube. It's the fact that he's one of those guys on YouTube. And I guess this is cool because, you know, it's a little bit crazy because I got all these people in the chat, you know, and I'm like, what the frig, man? Why are these people in my channel? Like, this channel only has like 60 subs, you know, and it's like they're watching my live stream. But then I realized, I'm like, shit, yeah, this is why I stopped doing live streams during the day on YouTube, and I do them in the night, because then I get people from the UK and not from America. And you know, along with all these new channels that came here this year and don't know nothing about the year before, man, they just piling on more stuff and they just don't understand. So that's fine, man. Enjoy, you know, enjoy your life of making memes, but whatever, man. My experience and my explanation of my experience has nothing to do with people that are just coming to YouTube as a job and gonna work memes and gonna promote, you know, that all the same stories all the time together in unison as a meme squad. Well, that's different, man. I don't have no problem with you guys. I actually like all the people that do memes. I don't even care what side they're promoting and what little, you know, what their agenda is. I just like the fact that they're doing memes. And the fact is that if you're just doing memes, you know, there's not really that much of, you know, you're making clowning guy. Yeah, so you just don't clown the guy you don't like. There's nothing wrong with that, man. I like those people. I got no problem with them. You saw I liked Hoax Wars and all those people in that chat until they all turned on me all at once in one day. And now I don't give a hoot. Doesn't bother me either way. And the people that you think are nice guys and girls are not the same people that I think are nice guys and girls, and that's all. It's just a difference. There's nothing personal. But sorry, I'm changing a battery. So yeah, originally when I started this stream, you know, obviously, it's funny because when people are live and then they're talking in the live stream, if you just don't pay them no mind, it's just the same as if you're doing a video and then people are watching it after. Because many of these people that don't like you, they watch your videos and they get triggered while they're watching them, so they freak out. And it's easier for them to get triggered when there's friends around to trigger with them, you know? It's like a trigger party in the chat. So, whatever. I enjoy providing that service to these people here that are all working on YouTube, obviously bored with their lives and such. So, go ahead. Trigger themselves up. What's up, Quantum? Yeah, the cool thing, I guess, about doing live streams during the day is that you get a lot more interaction with the people that come and watch your videos, which is kind of cool, man. You know, when people are all coming and saying nice things, but it's a little bit rough for people, just so you know, once you get to have a bunch of years under your belt, and you don't go along with the program, and you're not in any of their networks, well, you pretty much have a few different groups on YouTube that basically actively promote the idea of downgrading you socially on YouTube. So you just roll with it, man. Yeah, Ruby Dimples, man, chat. Well, I gotta say, when I was making a video the other day, I was talking about people that have gone terminal on YouTube, and yeah, I can say that that last video where you were showing all the people in his chat that on his Patreon that were telling him, to stop doing this and that and act normal. I mean, it was overwhelming, and the guy is a real person. And I don't think he's able to just not read that stuff and just let it not bother him. Like, over time, it does kind of shut him down. And he gets a little bit panicked. And then, if he loses his apartment and ends up in the woods, likely you're going to recognize that, like I did, the guy likely has a bit of a problem, and that he's being taken advantage of by the people around him. And he's allowing himself to be taken advantage of. And at this point, he's in too deep with these clowns on YouTube. He can't get away from them. And the only way for him to save his soul and his life is to totally get away from YouTube and all the people that are trying to help him. And he's probably going to recognize that. But like the Fango, these guys are really, they don't have any alternatives. They're like, they need this is what this is their bread and butter. So he's just like the Fango. He's not going to go anywhere. He's going to go through a crisis and try and come back. And yeah, you definitely, there was definitely a sentiment that had nothing to do with you, that everyone in general in his chat was saying overall that the guy was basically LARPing and he needed to grow up. And that pretty much is terminal for a guy like him, because he needs that weirdness, that people that are following him and like, wow, man, is he a genius, But now that question of genius, I think, has been put to rest, and God bless him. We obviously have a person that's struggling with mental illness over there, and hopefully he's gonna stop running with their nonsense LARPs and their BS, and he's just gonna do his content. I mean, he can just do bowls in the woods. He can do stuff and get views and it'll be just different from this whole Hydra stuff and his AI bots. Man, he's been played out for all that stuff, man. His collapsed lung, his balls with cancer, and everything saved by donation. His days as a credible LARP are over, completely finished, man. And the only thing that he's gonna go to is more clownery, like he did, when I stopped following him. But remember when he started doing pictures of ramen soup, and then he was talking to kids in Japan, and it's the same scenario is gonna happen, and then people are gonna feel bad, and they're gonna have to either let him survive. He LARPs crazy to stay out of trouble. Yeah, he does turn it off on JG's streams, but that's because, I mean, you got to give some credit to Jason Goodman. I mean, the guy's, it seems like he's got his channels going. He's getting 5,000-10,000 views in the first 5-6 hours. He's pretty much made a little space for himself as a journalist, pushing, that somewhere between over-the-top Pizzagate investigator to professional journalist. Somewhere in between there. That's where Jason Goodman's got. So people like Quinn respect that guy, man. He knows about computers. He's very presentable, man. Jason Goodman is the best, most presentable guy out of all these clowns, man. Even George Webb he's basically a bumbling, friggin' drinking, babbling rubby. And I mean, he's might be 6'4" and 6'5", and he looks like a friggin'. These guys look very amazing when you're standing around a room with them, but on camera, you can't see that there's. Well, you can see when Jason Goodman is standing next to George Webb in real life, that George Webb is more presence, is more of a video person. I mean, when they stand next to each other, it's like a giant. It's like that show Big with Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. Basically, Jason Goodman's like 5'2", and George Webb's like 7'4". And George Webb's well built. There's nothing wrong with George Webb, but Jason Goodman, without George Webb beside him, has a perfect face for camera. He basically looks like a newscaster. So you got to give him some credit that he's able to, tell Quinn that if you act too crazy on my show, I'm gonna just disown you, man, and you're gonna have nothing. And so then Quinn smartens up, man, for an hour. Even when Quinn was walking down the boardwalk with George Webb and his friggin' poles and his cameras, I mean, this guy George Webb must be a sight to see when he walks by with all this crap. But even on the boardwalk, Quinn Michaels was wearing his, Seth Lord outfit. Like, he had a hoodie and a black dress and all kinds of weird stuff. And, I mean, he looks like a Hare Krishna walking around in the daytime. And George Webb looks 100% normal, but when George Webb talks and asks questions, like, do you know about, what was he asking about? Some killers, like some serial killer, Marilyn Manson or something like this. One of these serial killers, Jeffrey Dahmer or something, and he asked two black women walking down, like not even white girls that would know the story. Like, he just straight up asked two black women, do you know about this serial killer? I mean, that's just showing you that Jason Goodman is a little bit out of touch with people that are not New Yorkers at the top of the, in Manhattan somewhere. If you talk to him, and if he's going somewhere and questioning people, he might just say the most outlandish things that are very out of place for wherever he's at. And I think that Quinn Michaels is fortunate to have Jason Goodman help him out. And I'm fortunate that Jason Goodman's trying to help Quinn Michaels, because in the end, this is pretty much gonna be like a terminal cancer that he's not gonna be able to get rid of. All these videos that he's done with Quinn Michaels. When Quinn Michaels has to do something totally different, man. He's not gonna be able to continue with these crazy LARPs. Those are gonna be over soon. And I'm happy that he's calmed him down, because when he went on his show and he did the time phone hack and he shaved his eyebrow on one side and his head on the other side, and then he surprised Jason Goodman with that look, well, that was a friggin' video for me right there. Just that, I mean, that's something that's, even when I leave YouTube, I'm gonna think back to Karma Chameleon, Quinn Michaels, taking people's chains when you give them a hug, taking their watch, and feeding him a load of malarkey like Boy George was. And that's what the story of Karma Chameleon's about. And and the fact that he got the time phone hack Jason Goodman live on his show, and I mean, I was even time phone hacked when he showed him his friggin' eyebrow missing and his hair. He had the Friar Tuck haircut. He had shaved a bowl like this, and he had all this part was still there, and just this part was gone, and one eyebrow. And then he was there doing his live stream, and it was a surprise. And I think that was the last surprise that he was allowed to give Jason Goodman without telling him in advance. And You know, I like the way Jason Goodman, I don't really look into it too far, but he's streaming. I saw something he's doing that's interesting. He's streaming the same show on 2 different channels at the same time. So that's interesting. Not many people are doing that. That's something where he's using a multi-stream platform of some kind, and it's restreaming it. So maybe he's using Restream. But I'll look into it, and I'll develop a tactic around those things, because that's interesting to me, how he's multiplying his presence with just a program in the background, so he's not really having to do anything. And I'm sure my haters will hate that when I go live on fucking 6 channels all at once. And trust me, Montagraph, if Jason Goodman can do 2 channels at once, I can do 20. And if Jason Goodman can run a show like that, well, I can run 2 shows like his. I just don't want to. I just don't want to. I don't want to run around as a newscaster and try and follow the BS news that other people follow, and for whatever reason believe in it a little bit. And that's why, you know, that's why I'm involved with these LARP protectors, is because if I would just cover the news, they wouldn't bother me. It's that I skip the news and I cover the actual people presenting the news, but it's not really news, it's pretty much LARP. And then they get burned out, and then what happens is, once you burn out a couple of these LARP presenters and not the storyline, well, people remember that that's the guy that brought the LARP. And then that's how that ends their career as presenters of LARP. Because then when they come through with another LARP, well, right away a whole bunch of people are like, wait, you're the guy that tried to present this last time. So yeah, you know, have a good one. You gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? Ruby Dimples, you gotta be friends with who you gotta be friends with on this website, that's all. There's no avoiding the people that do the no-no, you know, and then if they don't do the no-no to you or your father or your parents, then they're okay in your book. And that's what you get with all these faceless friggin' channels over there and all your friends group. It's basically just a bunch of friggin' people that blow in the wind like long grass. So you know, I just love watching grown men and women, most in their 40s, trying to promote an obvious online cyber stalker, and just pretending like they never saw anything he did, like nothing he ever did was wrong with it, didn't bother them because it wasn't towards them. And oh, maybe he's just picking on that guy or this guy or that guy or now me, or maybe even picking on my father because I was making videos. So that's all, man. That's how I develop people's personalities around their avatars. So it doesn't help you to come into my chats and to see Montesaurus, the guy that I unkinged from his chessboard, and come and make nicey with him. It's almost better for some of you people that want to just have a peaceful YouTube meme career to just stay over on meme channels and not, you know, participate with Montagraph's obvious pursuit of just bothering me. And I know it's very difficult, and that's why I don't hold it against people on this platform. The things you say in the chat and the things we say to people and the things, you know, if you comment under a person's video, it doesn't automatically mean that you're following them. So I'll put in this disclaimer for all the little ladies that are on YouTube that hide their faces, that they should be nervous of Montagraph, because he does do crazy things. So you're doing a good job by not triggering the guy. But, you know, don't be too nice to him at my expense and think that I'm not watching that, and that I'm not, you know, recognizing the depth of people that are persuaded to say and do things because they're scared and they're on this website as, you know, people that have no fear, but maybe only no fear when they're messing with people like Quinn Michaels. And when it comes to actually speaking out against real problematic activities, well, they don't say nothing about that. So, thank you. And you know what? That's why I said the last part of my process is because people gotta recognize hoax wars, Colonel Dumplings, Synthetic Rebellion. These people are on YouTube. They came to YouTube. They're new YouTubers. They don't want this psycho part of YouTube. They don't want to trigger people into going overboard and coming. They just want to. They want to create on YouTube and find a little spot where there's some kind of a, you know, an audience, and they, you know, and it doesn't. I don't have any problem with that, and I don't have any problem with you guys and the things that you do and the way that you guys present your stuff, and you don't try and perpetrate to be news or any type of friggin' helping people. You know, you're making, and so that's why I make that comment. But you have to understand that in this social environment, which is YouTube, people are watching at all times what everyone's doing and saying, and the fabric of YouTube, like I like to call it. And I speak out against this fabric. So when I'm, you know, having live streams and stuff, and you see people are coming in, and I'm not really actively reading all the comments that the different people are making, because you can't actually do a video live stream and read comments and not get, and especially if the people don't like you, like it's just gonna go and look bad. And so because of that, I like to point out that there are new people on YouTube that don't really realize or don't know or don't recognize to what level of criminality that these people protecting, you know, people like Montagraph might go to if for whatever reason they're persuaded that they don't like your content. They go to the full extreme, full pin level. And I'm not comfortable with being friends with people like that based on it gives the wrong impression to other people on YouTube. So I might be kind with him in my chats and stuff because I don't want to be triggered to a point where he can go and make a complaint and have my channel live stream privileges revoked. And that's basically the idea behind coming into my chats and talking. So that's why I avoid him. I avoid reading what he's saying. And once in a while, I read what he's saying, and I recognize that it's like, dude, I got videos of you acting as the most crazy person. And you can say that you're an actor, but that would have to mean that the both people that you were acting crazy against would have to be actors too. And that's me and my father. And I'm not even talking about the two other people you've acted crazy against and whatever you did. I don't care what you did to them. I only care about me, my father, and my channels, and me. And that's how I know that it doesn't matter if you're nice to me. It doesn't matter if you're nice around people and people don't know what you did. Eventually, I'm going to show them what you did. They're not going to be able to be my friends and your friends at the same time. So you should think of a way to take down the slander about my dad. And I can move on with covering other people on this website. I can move on from your pathetic story. Nobody wants to hear about it anymore. The duck-feathered hair. I mean, it's borderline elder abuse, okay? Once you hit 65, I mean, I can't even make videos about you anymore under my feelings, you know, on how I feel, you know. If I don't think that it's healthy for you, Montagraph, to come listen and watch my videos. I know that I don't appreciate it, and that I know that you don't like me, and that I am not able to like you anymore. I'm not able to. So your best thing to do is to just go make your content, go buy a computer, go make some new content, take down the criminal slander about my father. You can leave all the slander up about me, and move on with your life, man, and go. Your LARP life is gone, man. It's over. You're not going to be able to come back to YouTube and Twitter and pretend you're the Illuminati. Nobody's going to believe it. And it's not me. I could quit YouTube today, Montagraph. Nobody, by next year, you will have just hung up the gloves on YouTube. So, yeah, well, you know what, Vonderloo, the cool thing about what you're talking about there, because she's talking about here, I'll read the comment. I see you're attached to the metadata side of our information that all AI tracks and scrapes, like Facebook and Twitter. Now the government has blue button AI for medical, its comps now, and pushing AI at Leslie. Well, you know what, and even more evidence of the fact that they're moving in on it with their LARP game is that you had that guy McPhee LARPing. Oh, I'm dying. It's in my last words. We're not getting fucking any money for this, and people this. And then he was saying, and all I want you to do is to support this medical app. Boom. And that's what these clowns were pushing, was that medical app. That whole part where he was dying in his hotel room, that was all part of the medical app push. And yes, the reason why they're moving from Facebook and now they're trying to get into medical is because, yeah, Google wants to be in a position where they can analyze people based on, you know, what they're posting and what they're liking and how they're feeling. So the pre-crime data. And it's so funny because, you know, I mean, if Monty wasn't such a washout, he would be right beside McPhee right now. But he's gone down in the gutters, and he's been on YouTube, like, really hard on YouTube, so he's fully exposed himself as a used up old LARP friggin' protector. And even McPhee is way, like, 10... McPhee is at, like, Craig Sawyer levels, where he's getting TV deals and doing commercials, and he's still funny and relevant. And, but on Facebook, on YouTube, McPhee is a joker. And, you know, I guess all Monty's got left is Twitter. So that's why, man, you know, go over to Twitter. I mean, you could even use China to 3 all caps like you've been doing, and friggin' go around, man, and go do whatever you're going to do online. I don't care. I don't care. I don't watch any, I don't follow, I don't watch anything that Montagraph does online. So, yeah, Jericho D. Hey, it's actually funny because I'm not used to it, but seeing all you guys in my live stream, it's because I'm so used to doing them in the middle of the night. So I apologize if I'm a little bit offset by all the regular people. You know, a lot of good people on YouTube, a lot of interesting personalities, and man, if this place wasn't so toxic, man, it would be really amazing to actually know these people like these. But I think that, you know, the model of YouTube is more controlling of information now, and so they like to control you with everyone else. So it's nobody's fault really, but the new people that are coming to YouTube, they're really getting a a different view of YouTube than was available, let's say, 3 or 4 years ago. So you can't be surprised when everyone has a different impression of everybody and different impressions of what's going on. Yeah, so there's Illuminati. So why don't you elaborate on that, Illuminati? I mean, you're almost 61 years old. So why don't you illuminate on why am I hiding behind a reptilian? What is it that you think? Are you gonna push the reptilian LARP now, and that the police are stealing kids and selling them and trafficking and all this stuff is going down, and you and your squad over there are gonna bust it? Hey, Freddy. All right, WordPress, you got purged, man. Well, that's good. Don't worry, Monty. There goes all your friggin'. There goes all Emerald's documents. Woohoo! Man, Monty, wait till they give you a purge and say, man, we just want to get rid of this old dude, man. He's been friggin' cluttering up the interweebs since 2006. So, he likes me. Yeah, well, I used to actually look up to Montagraph when I thought that he was actually a real hacker and that he was actually, undercover and anonymous, and that he was, a force against Quintins and all these little things. I mean, but then I saw his hacks were all done with Photoshop, and that he doesn't hack into anyone's Twitter. Back in 2015, I thought he was actually hacking into people's Twitter's accounts, and I was like, man, this guy is friggin' amazing. And, but then over time, when you see that he's really not hacking into Twitter, he's doing Photoshop, and that sometimes he's really being abusive to people to a point where it's hard to even watch. It's very, very harsh. And then, if you watch enough of these videos, you realize that there's something going on back there that's like, hereditary kind of thing. So, it all depends too how we raised, as young children. But I understand that there's been some tough love application, some tough love method that's been applied. And with that method, it's like Lord of the Flies. And what happens is that your peers abuse you, and you conform, or they put you in a boxing ring, and everyone puts on, and you put on boxing gloves and box one other guy for a round until you don't feel tough or you get beaten up. And then if you beat up that guy, well, they put in one other guy. And you keep doing one round with a fresh new guy until you stop working out, and that's the physical aspect of the mind control that's done with that scenario. And then there's the mental, which is basically having everyone confrontation therapy, and maybe Monty can speak on that a bit. But basically you yell at people and you scream at them and you put people into shock so that they just don't want to do any of it. And it probably works in the short term. It's probably very effective on a lot of people, and then in the short term it works for some people, but then on the larger, greater good, after analyzing it 10 years later, likely you get what Montagraph's doing now, is people that assume roles in the future where through abuse they control people. And God bless them, man. Everyone's dealing with the personality that they've created for themselves, and everyone can change. And obviously when you're a child and you're abused, like 15, 16 or 17 years old, whatever, under 18, you're still a child. And you need your mother's love, you need people to be kind with you, you need the grandparents to be around and to love you. And if you don't have those things, and instead you have all your peers yelling at you, well, when you get older, you're a grown man. Well, you act according to how you were treated as a child. So that's why, that type of love, tough love, is what they used to call it in the 80s. And you used to get this tough love. It was trained, and it went all over. And basically, it was to help parents, send their kids away into these reform schools, because it's not a loving environment. It's more of a more military environment. And you know it causes for people to act in a certain way. So they thought around it, and they said, well, let's fix these kids permanently. Let's shock them into being, let's make them right. And then over time they just looked, and I'm sure Monty could speak on it, but he was an active person in closing the place down, and I commend him for doing that. And obviously, he doesn't like me, and that's okay. But when he doesn't like a person, a lot of times, if you push his buttons, he falls back into that role of being, of yelling or confrontation therapy. So, as a child, if you're trained that through confrontation you correct people's behavior, well, then any time that he has someone whose behavior he wants to correct, he figures out a way to cause confrontations. And so that's what you have with Monty in most cases, is just a learned behavior from his childhood, and it's what, has been outlawed, so it's not something that you'd want to train to your children. And everyone can grow, and that's what's got to happen here. It's not me that can fix anyone else. And, it's not my amazing cucumber face mask here that I did and took a picture of myself so that I could have a new icon that would trigger Dave Acton and Montagraph. But, they're a little bit older than me. They can't understand how it is that this little French dude is like 5'7" with his running shoes on, is taking to town like 20 guys, man, all working together, pushing LARP and acting psycho, and pretending like they ain't working here. And so over time, it's like a bloody thorn in their side. So whatever, they come around. But honestly, the problem is not. The problem is learned behaviors, people's personalities, hundreds of different people. And then if everyone's, if you're going to act anonymous and pretend like people don't know you and can't figure out your name and where you live, and you've been, you've been monetized with YouTube for 10 years, 12 years. Well, monetization didn't even start way back in 2006, so you've likely only been monetized since they started the monetization push in 2012 or 11. But whatever, man. You don't really affect me as much as you think, and you actually affect just like my videos don't really affect the people that I make them about as much as I would want them to. And that's why I don't make them so mean anymore, and I try and enjoy making the videos, and I try and think, like, if the person watches the video, I hope they know that if they change, then I'm not going to be clowning them once they become a better person. Like, if Montagraph, if you said to me, like, you're an idiot, I don't like you, but I'm going to take down some of the shit about your dad because I see that there's something wrong with that. Over time, people aren't going to like me because of it. Man, I'd be happy to forgive you for the things you did against me. That's my pleasure, man. I can move on. I could never think of you again. So just think about all this stuff. But if in your small mind you believe that you're gonna affect me negatively for 5 years, and then that I'm just gonna walk away and you're gonna leave all that stuff up, man, I will see you till the end, man. I will see how that ends up then, man. And you keep playing your role, and I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and you'll see, just like everyone's seeing wide and clear in my right now all over the internet, that you're failing, and I got nothing to lose. I still got nothing to lose. I still, even if all my accounts went down today, I didn't lose one penny. I didn't. There's nothing that you can take away from me from my YouTube. So that's why you're gonna realize that you're downgrading yourself. You're downgrading yourself. Even these new people like the Colonel and all the people that do memes. I downgraded myself arguing with you, okay? But don't think that you didn't downgrade yourself with they're just being nice to you because they still think you might recover. But you and I are both damaged goods over here, brother. I'm damaged just from knowing you. Just from having so much details about you and your operation and your people and your friends and the type of stuff you do makes it look like I'm part of the problem with you. That's how damaging your activities are. They're damaging to everyone, even people that fight against you. And that's, you know that. So, you know, that's why you got Caliber Hitter running around calling himself Luca Magnotta and doing false doxes on you, saying that you're all kinds of different serial killers and all kinds of kidnappers and stuff. And because you just want everyone to just give all kinds of fairy tales around you, and that protects you, man. Like this whole psycho babble nonsense, when you're just one regular old dude, you ain't able to do anything to anyone other than the no-no. And the criminal stuff you do all anonymously, so it ain't really even effective, man. You know, calling the SPCA on people's dogs. Buddy, at 60 years old, man, are you kidding me? Calling the minister of fish and wildlife on you know, on a puppy mill as a 60-year-old dude hanging out with other people that are coming up with these things off, how to treat people off site. You know, finding a 50-year-old dude online and then being a 60-year-old dude online and making videos about his 73-year-old father that survives cancer, man. You're 60 years old and you're doing that, man. You don't think you're damaging your own reputation. You don't think me pointing out that you did that to people damages my reputation. You don't think that you running around the internet saying that my father molested me is irreproachable, man. You don't think that I'm gonna stick to the end and watch you and all your friends fail? Because of you, everyone's gonna fail on YouTube, Montagraph, and I'm gonna see it happen, man. I'm gonna watch. I'm definitely gonna be there when you fail, and I might be there if you clean up your act too. So that's the difference between me and you, is that my future's not written, man, and I'm writing my future as I go, and I'm rewriting it along the way. And people, man, on this website, they come and go, but you, my friend, have stayed the same. So I don't worry about all these new people, and if they like you, I don't care, man. They don't know you, and if they can see you do what you did to me, and they don't put themselves in my shoes, well, I don't want those people as friends either, because they're already dead inside, man. They got no empathy, man. And if you want to know what makes me a good person, what I had to develop over the last 20 years to be a better person, is empathy. And it's really hard. You basically gotta put yourself in other people's shoes, even when you're seeing difference against them. And then you look from their point of view, and you try and see what it is that they see, that why they feel like there's an injustice towards them, or for whatever reason, and you put themselves in your shoes, and that made me a better person. And all of these things that I've done to improve myself as a human being, Monty, are out of reach for you, unfortunately. Unless you take some of my advice and skip over the 10 years that I had to travel making the wrong decisions. And until I realized making the right decisions takes about 10 years of doing good things and thinking the right way for you to be able to really believe in yourself and to really know that what you're seeing is something good, or you wouldn't be fighting for it. So if you think you can overcome that with more no-no and the training you got at a land detention center for kids, for juveniles, well, you got another thing coming, kid. You got another thing coming, man. And all your friends on this website are no more your friends than mine. And at least I know that for a fact. And that's why I don't mind if they talk out against me, if they speak with you on your side and they jump on board. I don't mind. Because when you fail, they will all abandon you like the rats on a sinking ship. That's what you got, buddy. You got 50,000 rat friends. And when your ship, which is already sinking, you can look around. You can look around and you can see that people are not so afraid of you anymore. And that's your own doing. Good afternoon, James speaking. Yes, good afternoon. Okay, yes. Je m'excuse parce que tu m'as parlé en français, mais c'est parce que je savais pas que oui, je connais bien. J'ai le rendez-vous, merci beaucoup, vendredi 2h30. Je vais faire ça, merci. Parfait. Donc, bonne journée à vous. Merci beaucoup. Welcome back. Check it out, man. No duck feathered hair. Monty, it's too bad that I wasn't over in Colorado, man. I would give you free haircuts, brother. It'd be my pleasure. I'd come give you a little free haircut. And honestly, if YouTube wasn't around, you'd be doing something else in life, and you might have already made these improvements, man. I didn't start out as a good person, you know, in my life. You make a lot of mistakes as a young person, and with all the stuff they're teaching you in Boy George and all this nonsense and friggin' rave, you know, rave parties were invented when I was like 18, 19 years old, man. So all these things in your life, you don't just make all the right decisions, but Jesus, Murphy, like when you're 60, it's time to make that jump, man. It's time to friggin' put on that parachute, man, and go for it, man. It's time to friggin' forget about that training that you got, that's some kind of normal way to treat strangers. Nobody wants confrontation therapy, okay? That I can guarantee you. Yeah, the deal, that's a good joke. So Illuminati is saying obviously is heroin dealer. You know, it's funny you say that because I was in a motorcycle accident, And they wanted to give me painkillers, man. They wanted to give me morphine, and I was like, oh man, jeez, do you have anything a little bit more, a little bit of Grove stand, a little bit like homemade, maybe codeine, or maybe you know, they don't have codeine no more in the hospitals. They got Oxycontin, they got morphine, they got all kinds of opiates. I was like, you got, baby aspirin? Like, they don't have aspirins, they don't have nothing. I was just like, well, I'll forget about it, I'll just deal with it. I think they gave me an Advil or something. But heroin would be a problem that I would see more in city centers. They're having a big problem with heroin in the States right now, because heroin's a big part of the reason that America's in Afghanistan, because there's a huge heroin crop over there. But not to get sidetracked. Yeah, like Jericho D. This is another person that I gotta just say something about. There's nothing, a good person. Jesus, Murphy, and if she hangs out with people that don't like me, or that if Montagraph's around there, I'm not gonna hold it against her that doesn't actively come out and be like, well, I don't like Montagraph too because he doesn't like him, and that everyone doesn't just join hands with me. I understand that, but I also understand that a lot of people are scared of Montagraph, and I understand that they don't want this guy to go psycho on them. So I don't automatically, I'm not automatically impressed that a person is being nice to him, that they actually like him. It's oftentimes they're just scared. So that's the environment of YouTube, man, and I'm not gonna beat that with a few of my videos and change the reality that people are really scared of this guy and that some people are just nice to him. But over time, as I clown this guy and as I show everyone that he's not in the Illuminati, that he didn't hack Benghazi, that he has nothing to do with the UNRIG, is nothing but a scam that him and Steele cooked up so that they could get $13,000 a day in donations to sue each other in court. And Monty, how come you never went to court against the guy? Rob and Steele? Do you think his mother, if she married a guy named Mr. Steele, would have named her child Robert, knowing that all his friends would call him Robbie Steely or Robin Steele? And do you think his mother was a criminal and that she worked for a gang of MS-13 and that her whole thing in life was robbing and stealing, so she wanted her firstborn son, when he introduced himself all over the world, to be Mr. Robin Steele? No, because it's not a real name, Monty. It's not a real name. He's just a LARPer. He's just a fraud. He's a grown-ass fraud from the radio days. And he's your partner in the UNRIG scam. And you can scare anyone you want around me. I don't care. Every time I talk about it and people hear, and then they realize that you are a LARP and that is a pure scam and that there ain't nobody taking no one to court and that they did collect the money on his PayPal. Imagine getting $13,000 a day in your PayPal. That's like cash right into your bank, man. Your bank just thinks you're a genius. Your bank manager might even call you in for an appointment. But 2 years later, when there's a guy named China the 3 still talking about that fraud and making people realize that it's actually fraud, and it's actually wire fraud if they're taking money online and running scams. So I'm just going to keep talking about it until someone comes to visit you and they want to know about all the scams you've been running and protecting on YouTube. And if you don't think that you've done anything wrong, like I know I haven't done anything wrong, and I've not made any money on YouTube. So there's a different kind of correlation between money, fraud, and no money, sir. So I don't mind if you want to destroy my YouTube personality, China to 3. I'm not looking at YouTube anymore for a career or any place to keep my heavenly body. So keep talking trash. Keep thinking you're making friends around me. And I can almost guarantee you that it's going to happen naturally, that you're just going to want to walk away from this website, just like me. You don't think that, I mean, I hope you don't think that I think that it's going to be different feeling that I have than the other people that I apply my feelings to are going to have coming away from me. I think we're going to feel the same way eventually. That's why I'm here. And if you think you're winning still, Monty, because you got your your little tent army of amazing, interesting old dudes that can't work and that, you know, got lots to say about me working with you and then being your friend. Imagine. What a gaslight. But obviously, if I can overcome your gaslighting, if I can get right to the heart of the person trying to do all this anonymous slander and harassing on me, and I actually am looking right at them, well, obviously I'm a lot better than all your other competitors have been so far, Monty. You're just not realizing that I'm the last competitor that you have. I already know that. That's why I'm not afraid of you, Monty. I'm the last guy that you tried to manhandle off YouTube. And when I leave YouTube, I'm just going to leave. I'm not going to lose anything. I'm actually going to gain things from leaving. And when I leave YouTube, I can guarantee you there is no way that you guys... I'm going to be leaving as other people are coming in. And as other people coming in, they're going to see what you guys did. They're going to see what you did over the last 10 years, Monty. They're never going to trust you. That I can guarantee you, man. The internet is becoming interactive TV. Okay? And you guys are promoting, you know, the Gestapo YouTube effect. And it's not working for anyone except the TV. So you guys are part and parcel to all the worst parts of how this website has gone. Yeah. You know, clowns, anonymous men, grown men, you know, agents, agents, anonymous, you know, you're all burnt toast, man. I mean, it's not me, man. It's you. It's your LARPs. The internet, more people have cell phones now. They know you're not the Illuminati anymore there. And whether there's 5 Illuminatis and they're Agent 19 and you all share technically the same sickness, and whether Luca Magnotta becomes Illuminati too, and you know, and you and Caliber Hitter and Luca Magnotta and everyone, it doesn't matter. You're all gonna end up failing together, man. I mean, I could guarantee you that you're not just harassing people that aren't saying anything to other people about what you're doing. You're harassing people that make better content than you, and that are able to put out... Monty, you put out a video with 50,000 subs, you get 1,000 views. It's 50 to 1. Or 1 to 50, sorry. You know, I put out a video and get 100 views, and that's 2 to 1. Okay, so there's no winning, man. And my shit is all garbage. My channels are all garbage because you guys don't allow me to make good channels. So, go figure. That's just another friggin' feather in my cap that I just... Even when you take my no good channels, it doesn't really harm me. It doesn't really bother me. I just have to make a new channel and get more traction. And it only takes me about a week to get 1,200 views every 24 hours on all my channels. So, I don't care what you guys think. You guys are getting like 200 views every 48 hours. That's what you guys are getting. Or if you got 50,000 views and you can't get, 2, 3, 4,000 views on a video, well, fiction, man. It's all imaginary, man. Most of your guys' LARP life of hero-ness is all imaginary. And God bless everyone that's got an avatar, has got a story. I got a backstory. Everyone's got a backstory. So, hopefully people could see that if they do change, if for whatever reason they liked MONTAGRAPH and they said things to me because they liked him and they were just confused and they didn't know, well, I'll forgive you, man. You just gotta not... While the guy's clowning people, if he's doing good things online and making his videos and you want to say, that's a great video, Monty, well, that's cool, man. But while he's going around clowning people and harassing people, if you jump on board with him, you're just gonna make it look like he's got support on the website and that he's got some kind of foothold. And then I'm gonna have to go on over there and kick his foot off the mountain or stamp on his foot as he's put his hand as he's climbing over the hill. And kick some rocks down. And if you get knocked with a couple rocks, that's part of friggin' why you just, when he's saying nice things, appreciate him. If he's totally going out psycho babble, it's good time to recognize that too much glorification of that type of his personality will cause him to fly off the handle. And I don't want that around me anymore. So, hey, there he is, Freddy. I'm out. God bless, man. Yeah, Freddy, I'm going to end this stream only because it can't get any better than it already has. Basically, I'll be back tonight doing stream at 4 a.m. when all these clowns and jokers are sleeping. Because even when it's 4 a.m. here, it's 1 a.m. in Colorado. So maybe I'll wait till 5 a.m. in the morning, and if people want to troll me, well, they can troll me all night long, and eventually you guys are going to fail, man, because you're going to be up all night, you're going to be sleeping in the day, and when I fail off this website, it doesn't matter, man. As far as you guys are all concerned, I am a failure. You've seen to that. So just think, if I already know, and you guys already know that you're trying to make me a failure, and I'm already telling you that I don't care if I fail, well, you just keep telling yourselves in those rooms that you're all winning, man. Go over to your Discord and let everyone know that China the 3 had a 2-hour live stream this morning and you guys beat me again. Yo. Yeah, loser can't lose, baby. Treach, God bless, man. And you know what? It's difficult to do anything on YouTube and to be involved with any of these groups. No matter what it is, there's infiltrators all over, and then you always end up friggin' looking stupid. So stick to your guns, man. Stick to your wife. Believe in yourself. And the less people that you get involved with, the more your message is gonna ring through, man. Anyone that suffered abuse, man, I never been abused as a kid. Okay, I always had a big mouth, man. Rapists are afraid of me. Just even when I was a small kid, they were afraid. So if anyone's been abused and they have any kind of story, and it relates connection deep to them, well, my content is not trying to overwhelm whatever experience or message they're trying to put forward. That's a totally different point of view. And I like to point that out, that as I'm talking about these different things and joking about these clowns that bring Pizzagate forward and stuff, it's not at all a laughing matter for anyone that suffered any kind of loss like this or this type of trauma in life. So I recognize that, and that's why I say, you know, it's I mean, even if people are saying bad things about someone, I mean, I'm not listening. I'm basically watching what they do and what they say, and I'm making a judgment call from there. And as the whole internet gangs up against you, and the tsunami of the TWOOF movement starts to make you feel like you're not wanted, well, you can guarantee if you come on over and ask me, I'll give you a pep talk about being not wanted on YouTube, and it ain't no thing. The more they don't want you, the more better a person you are being, and that when your mother looks down from heaven on you, she's going to be thankful that you're that guy. You were the one guy that wasn't with them. So, thanks for watching there, Illuminati, man. Go get your hair cut, man. You want me to send you $10 to your PayPal, buddy? And go get a haircut there at the barber. You know, get out of your house, man. And stop drinking during the day, man. We don't want to see that anymore, man. We want you to come back. Get rid of the slander on my dad so that people think that you're normal again and they're not worried that you're going to do that to their fathers. God forbid this Colonel Ruby Tuesday friggin' starts to wonder if you're gonna go attack her mother or her father, and then these people are gonna be able to justifiably have reason to say that you are a good person, because at this point, I mean, the argument is moot when they say that you're a good person. I mean, right away, man, I'm like, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work, and it hasn't been working, brother. So you might want to rethink your plan of action. Reassess the damages you're taking as a human, as your human body that you're damaging from hating me, and the human body you're damaging from hating my father, who you've never met my father. He's never even done a video about you, clown. So the human body you're damaging of your own from attacking I Spy's mom. She's never even heard of you, man, and it's a lady online, and you're calling her at night or doing stupid shit like that. So, fix yourself. I'm gonna go jump in my hot tub and take it easy. Probably take the dogs to the water park over. There's a little water. I'll do a video of me letting my dogs go in the lake. And buy yourself a dog there, Illuminati. Go buy yourself a kitten, man. Get love, man. Get it wherever you have to, man. Forget about how your parents put you there. It's not your fault, man. Move on, man. Move on, man. Tough love does not work, man. You are not gonna make me listen to you from you know, this therapy, this confrontation therapy method that you're using, man. I've been to university, man. I've studied psychology, man. I know what you're doing, man. And I'm telling you, I'm gonna point it out to everyone that that's what you do. You're gonna be more toxic than Cappy, okay? Go ask Lift the Veil if anything I said didn't come true, as he's taking phone calls from people that I left messages for on their voicemails, okay? And honestly, Monty, if you take down the slander about my dad, I'd probably be happy to take down the videos. Whatever it is, whatever video that you might not like about something that I might have said about you, be maybe even happy to take down all my videos about you. But don't think you're gonna beat me, Monty. Don't think that you're gonna beat me, man. Don't think you're gonna confront me until I give up to you, man. That's not. I'm giving you the opportunity, man. While you believe you're still ahead, man. Before you're in worse predicaments, you make that move, you're gonna have success from making that move early. if you wait till after a judge is telling you to take that shit down, man, you're not gonna have any success, man. If you wait for me to bring a full formal complaint to ICANN about you and your friggin' LARPs and your frauds and your criminal enterprises, I'm gonna see that till the end too, Monty. Whatever we do, Monty, I'm gonna see it to the end. So you're not gonna beat me, Monty. It's not gonna work. So God bless you, and you know, I'm not stupid enough to believe that I'm gonna beat you and make you stop doing what you're doing, or change the way that you feel inside, or treat people differently than you're able to, than your capacity allows. I'm not believing that I'm gonna make you stop doing anything. That's the difference between me and you, man. You cannot stop me from telling people what you're doing to me. Thanks for watching, kids. And remember, on YouTube, everything's recorded. So pretty much, you do have a witness. And you know, if you are a psycho and you've already gone around and acted crazy, well, there's all that stuff has been recorded too. So that's why I act normal on YouTube. That's why I don't break terms of service. That's why usually I don't even go under their live streams and make comments and try and harass them. But obviously, it's more important for them to all work together to get rid of me than to fix themselves, or, you know, or to just make content that is not scam related, is not LARP related, and is not related with pushing disinfo on your brothers and sisters. When you should be helping people as an adult, you should be giving good guidance to people that ask you. If someone is misled, you should guide them. And that's what being a grown, good grown person, that's what took me 20 years to learn. And if you didn't learn those things, don't try and learn them all on your own. Just take my word for it. The way Montagraph is acting online is not appropriate towards other people that are not YouTubers. It's 100% not appropriate. It never will be appropriate. Anyone that suggests that this guy is a hero will look foolish. Everybody on YouTube is going to look foolish anyways. But the ones that look foolish for hanging out with criminals, well, they're going to look extra stupid foolish, because they didn't even see what your grandparents tried to teach you, man. Good values. When you see a person not doing the right thing by another person's parents, not treating, you know, robbing or stealing from elders or children, you gotta step up, or you're like them. You become them. When people see you walk by and not say anything on video, and there was someone abusing a woman, well, you're just another loser in life, man. And when you see that video and you see yourself walk by, well, you might not be able to forgive yourself. Sometimes it's better to say something. And that's all I do on YouTube, man. That's why Google don't take down my videos. And that's why I got all my videos, and I got all my channels, and the hacker isn't really hacking nobody. He's just a fraud that's using an expired method. It's called trauma. It's called, you know, tough love. Confrontation therapy is garbage. It doesn't work. It makes people want to fight back. And when you get that one guy like me, you ain't gonna crush me, man. You ain't gonna crush nobody. Every day of my life when I was growing up, I grew up in a big city. I had all these pedophiles around me. I had all these perverts and freaks and nuts. You ain't gonna get me, kid. Not at 61, not with duck feathered hair. I see you coming, man. I see you coming. I see you swimming across the lake, man. I'm already throwing stones. Thanks for watching. China to China to China to 3. And listen, if you don't like me, please